Martha had been working as a home care nurse in a quiet village near Oxford for a few years. Most of her patients were elderly folks who simply needed a bit of company and medication reminders. But then she was assigned to Mr. Elwood, an old man who had no family, no friends, and almost no medical history. His room was tucked away at the end of a dark corridor. When Martha first knocked on his door, the man answered almost instantly, as if he'd been standing there, waiting. His face was gaunt and pale, and his skin seemed stretched too tightly across his skull. His sunken eyes barely blinked as he whispered, "It's watching me." Martha forced a smile. "Who's watching you, Mr. Elwood?" His skeletal hand rose weakly, pointing at the window. Martha turned to look, but there was nothing there. Just gray clouds hanging low over a patch of dead trees. "It's not there now," Elwood murmured, "but it will be back." That night, as Martha finished her shift, she heard whispers from Mr. Elwood's room. Curious, she peeked through the cracked door. The old man was standing by the window, his lips moving rapidly. "It can't see you. It can't see you, but it can hear you." The next morning, Mr. Elwood was found dead in his bed, his face frozen in a twisted expression of terror. His eyes were wide and cloudy white, but what disturbed Martha the most were the dark smudges along the walls, grimy fingerprints that stretched from the floor all the way to the ceiling. That evening, Martha returned home feeling uneasy. She checked the locks, closed her curtains tightly, and crawled into bed. Just as she was starting to relax, she heard it, a faint scratching sound from the ceiling corner. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Her breath caught in her throat. Eyes wide, she stared at the darkened ceiling, and there it was. A twisted figure clung to the corner, its limbs bent at unnatural angles. Its empty black sockets locked onto her, and then, in a voice that sounded all too familiar, it rasped, "I hear you." Martha vanished that night. When police searched her apartment, they found those same filthy fingerprints smeared across her walls and scrawled across her bedroom ceiling, written in soot, "I see you."